Tonight, the province outlines their plan for improving health care. What did Premier Scott Moe achieve in India? And a delay in adding fluoride to Regina's tap water.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. It's one of the biggest government portfolios and always one of the biggest concerns come budget time, health care. Today, Premier Scott Moe and the province provided a sneak peek of how they plan to attack an ailing healthcare system, from overcapacity issues to long wait times. Keenan Sorkon has the details.
We have listened to you and we have heard your concerns.
The Patients First Healthcare Act is aiming to provide more people with access to a primary care provider and more timely surgeries and diagnostics. The 25-page document with more than 50 action items looks to reduce many surgeries to a 3-month wait time by 2028, with diagnostics taking 60 days or less, while adding more professions to more care centers and expanding the scope of those workers to see more people in more places.
This is an all of the above approach, so that our each and every healthcare person offering healthcare services is able to work at the level that they were trained to work at.
A lot of the plan relies on nurse practitioners. With this legislation, they'll be able to hire and lead a staff of their own and work in long-term care facilities. To accomplish this, the province will no longer limit their contracts, increase training seats in school by almost 50%, and financially supporting registered nurses to become a nurse practitioner. If they haven't already, the health minister says more people will have to get used to an NP becoming your primary care provider instead of a doctor.
This approach doesn't work in competition with physicians. It actually complements the work of family physicians right around the province.
But with Regina's urgent care centre having to close early many times because of understaffing, the NDP says this plan is nearly identical to a similar strategy announced by Brad Wall in 2012, and the province has moved or failed to meet its targets in previous years. So why should we believe them now?
We can only judge that based upon how well he has met those targets in the past. And those targets have been routinely not only missed, we've actually routinely lost ground.
Lots of challenges are affecting this year's deficit budget, but Moe says the investments into healthcare won't be one of them. Keenan Sorkon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
And of course, he's back from his trade trip to India. Premier Scott Moe touting some of the agreements that were signed. But as Donovan Mace explains, some areas Saskatchewan was hoping to address remains unchanged.
Premier Scott Moe was touting his recent trade mission to India as a success.
That's really a significant market for us to access. From this province that exports about $20 billion of agri-food products each and every year.
The Premier joining the week-long Canadian mission led by Prime Minister Mark Carney, with Saskatchewan highlighting major signings, including a $2.6 billion uranium deal between Cameco and India's Department of Atomic Energy.
Commitments by both Prime Ministers to come to a conclusion of a free trade deal, the CEPA agreement. That's pretty positive. And I wish we had that type of commitment, for example, with our largest trading partner in the United States of America.
The province also signing several other memorandums of understanding with the Indian government, covering areas such as uranium, carbon capture and storage, post-secondary education, and the development of joint agri-food technologies.
Literally going to feed hundreds of millions of people a year when it's up and running.
Now, while the mission is seen as a success, some things are the same, as a 30% tariff on Canadian peas and a 10% levy on lentils by India remain in place, a deal the Premier says could still be months away.
This is going to have a huge impact on bottom lines of some of those producers who are already going into this year with a lot of worry. I think the fall is too late. I'd like to see it sooner.
Ridding the tariffs, however, still a high priority.
Our hope would get some, first of all, to have them removed in the near term in the next number of months. Second of all is to have some certainty moving forward.
Donovan Mace, CTV News, Regina.
Regina residents will have to wait another year before fluoride will be added to their tap water. Unforeseen complications from the Buffalo Pound Water Treatment Plant's renewal project has delayed the implementation to 2027. Jacob Carr has those details.
The motion to fluoridate Regina's water supply was originally passed here at City Hall back in 2021 and was scheduled to be fully implemented this year, but that has now been pushed back to mid-2027. The Buffalo Pound Water Treatment Plant says over 95% of the major work on the plant's renewal project has been completed, with some small commissioning and efficiency work remaining. But the general contractor for that project is still on site, and the plant says they did not want the current contractor to still be there when the fluoridation project contractor begins their work to avoid conflict. The plant says the original plan was for the process of implementing fluoride into the water supply to begin at the midway point of last year, but an error on the part of the renewal project contractor has pushed the timeline back.
Unfortunately, after they were done the design work, they found that the chemical building and some of the placement of equipment and how they ran pipes and electrical works were not as designed, which created a bunch of rework.
Johnson says the contractor that does come in to complete the fluoridation project will require some time to manufacture the specialized equipment needed for the process and customize it for the space provided by the treatment plant. Johnson anticipates that the contractor who wins the bid for the fluoridation project will begin work this summer, and that citizens of Regina can expect the plant to be producing fluoridated water by the summer of 2027. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Okay, Sabine joins us now for our first look at weather, and we're still going to have to wait a little longer for spring to come, but what are temperatures going to be like this week?
We're going to see them fluctuate a little above seasonal, and then by the weekend dropping just below seasonal, but the sun is here, and we're going to continue to see more of that sunshine throughout the weekly, as we did for most of the province today. Now, temperatures, despite the fact the sunshine was out, we could have thought that it was much warmer than it actually was. We did actually warm up to about -4 in the Regina area. Average for this time of year, if you take a look at the almanac, is within about a degree or two. So -2 is usually what we're used to seeing this time of year. And we will actually get to that in the next day or so. But as I mentioned, heading into the weekend, we'll see those temperatures drop back into the mid-minus teens. And eventually we will see, by probably about after next week, we'll see those temperatures getting back into that seasonal range. But in terms of active weather, there is some snow on the way. You'll see the temperatures right now sitting nicely in the single digits, but wind chill is also playing a factor in some of those temperatures as well. I'll have all the details, including who's seeing snow and how much, in your full forecast. Lee?
Okay, thank you, Sabine. 2 people are dead after a collision on Saturday morning on a Trans-Canada highway near Balgony and McLean. Upon arrival, first responders discovered the collision involved a truck and a car. Both occupants of the car, a 44-year-old man and a 39-year-old woman from Melville, were declared dead on scene. The driver of the truck was taken to hospital by Stars with non-life-threatening injuries. A passenger in the truck was also taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. RCMP continue to investigate. A Saskatchewan towing company is reminding residents to be cautious out on the ice. TRK Towing posted to social media about 2 separate incidents on Diefenbaker Lake where a vehicle had gone under the ice. One in late February and one last week. The company says just because the ice looks good on top doesn't mean it's good on the bottom. The company says in both cases the ice where the vehicles went under was compromised by an underwater stream. A spokesperson says the number of cases of vehicles or ice fishing shacks that are going under depends on the year and the weather conditions, but they expect there will be more recoveries to do in the coming weeks. Saskatchewan's police watchdog says police used appropriate measures in connection with a chase that ended in a man's death on Fishing Lake First Nation. It happened in fall of 2024 after police chased a suspect in a white van on Fishing Lake. Reports suggest the suspect was armed and one officer fired their gun after they say the suspect pointing the shotgun out the window while police were in pursuit. The shots were non-lethal. A second officer also fired at the van but did not hit the suspect. Investigation later determined that the suspect died of a self-inflicted gun wound shot, but this was unknown to police at the time, who were keeping their distance due to the gun search. Says its report police acted appropriately in responding to this risk when the shots were fired, and as a result, no charges will be laid. Dylan Whitehawk's double murder trial resumed in a Regina courtroom today. The jury heard from several police officers who played a role in the murder investigations of both Jordan Denton and Keenan Toto. McFable has the details.
The double murder trial of Dylan Whitehawk has now entered its second week. 4 Regina Police Service members took the stand, recalling the investigation in early 2020. During the early hours of January 3rd, 2020, officers were called to the 1900 block of Montreal Street regarding the finding of a firearm and cell phone, along with a pair of gloves and a face mask. Video footage from the home was played in court, showing a person running to the spot and dropping off the items. Footprints were left in the snow and a serial number was intact on the gun. Through digital analysis, RPS were able to find photos Whitehawk took of himself wearing the gloves found with the dumped items. One RPS member shared the details of the arrest of Whitehawk, which happened in a convenience store on Victoria Avenue the day after the discovered items. That same month, Gabriel Whitehawk, the brother of Dylan Whitehawk, was arrested for weapons trafficking. One RPS member testified saying records show he bought an SKS rifle and Ruger rifle in Regina, the 2 types of guns used in the murders. In Canada, those convicted of first-degree murder are sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for 25 years. There are 5 witnesses still listed to testify. The trial resumes Tuesday. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
Well, it is an exciting week for 7 chiefs from Treaty 6 territory. They're headed to England, where they will meet with King Charles III at Buckingham Palace ahead of the 150th anniversary of the signing of Treaty 6. Hallie Mandrick spoke to the group before they took off late this afternoon from Saskatoon.
The chiefs of Treaty 6 territory are heading to London for a meeting with King Charles.
The King will find time for us First Nations people to listen to us and to hopefully one day be able to have him here where a treaty has been signed in 150 years ago.
After 2 years of effort, the leaders of Treaty 6 are boarding a plane for an audience with the King at Buckingham Palace, where the chiefs plan to present His Majesty with an invitation to the 150th commemoration of Treaty 6.
Well, actually, that's part of our discussions we had collectively. Is the main topic is to bring him here for the commemoration of 150 years. And at that time is when he is here, we can discuss our treaties and more thorough.
The chiefs are bringing along gifts for the royal family, which include a ribbon skirt and a pair of beaded moccasins.
Treaties are for as long as the sun shines, the grass grows, and rivers flow. And so these moccasins are rooted with love and prayers for the future generations.
While King Charles has not yet officially accepted the invitation to the commemoration, the chiefs shared hope that this trip will lay the groundwork for a potential royal visit to Treaty 6 territory in the future. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still ahead, a debate on the war in the Middle East is set to take place at the House of Commons. And despite the world's oil supply decreasing, countries aren't ready to open up the reserves yet. MPs are debating Canada's shifting stance on the Iran war in the House of Commons, a chance for all parties to present their position, which includes criticism of the Prime Minister's approach. Abigail Bimman has the latest.
Mark Carney and Donald Trump spoke Sunday afternoon, including about the Middle East, the Prime Minister's office saying they agreed to stay in close contact. The situation in Iran high on the Prime Minister's agenda, but he isn't planning to attend a debate on it in the House of Commons tonight.
We met with the Incident Response Group yesterday with the Prime Minister and 5 or 6 ministers.
The Defense Minister acknowledges the concern NATO could be drawn into the conflict and says Canada also watching closely the decisions by other NATO allies to assist countries in the area.
The Iranian war now, the incursion led by Israel and the United States, has a bearing on fundamental questions like ammunition supply. It also has a bearing on the situation in Ukraine. So we are cognizant of that, watching it carefully.
The Canadian position has been unprincipled, it's been contradictory, and it's been incoherent.
The Liberal government facing criticism for its evolving position, beginning with stronger support than some allies for the initial airstrikes and then calling for de-escalation.
It's hard to know what's the current position of the government.
No Liberal MPs were critical publicly today as they reconvene for the first time since the war began.
We are here to work collaboratively and quickly with the Prime Minister and the government to turn rhetoric into results.
While the opposition leader accused Carney litany of pandering in all directions as he called for a different emergency debate about what Pierre Poilievre terms an emergency energy production plan.
Our allies are desperate for energy that does not come from the Middle East or Russia. High oil and gas prices present an enormous opportunity for Canada, which has the fourth biggest supply of oil in the world.
MPs gather to debate the ongoing situation tonight, while Liberals will have a chance to air their views behind closed doors at their caucus meeting Wednesday. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now, Iran has named a new supreme leader and launched a fresh round of attacks on Israel and other Gulf states as the war in the Middle East rages on. Now, some Iranian residents took to the streets to celebrate the announcement of Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei as Iran's new supreme leader. He is the son of the previous supreme leader who was killed in U.S. and Israeli strikes at the beginning of the war. The 56-year-old was named Ayatollah by Iran's Assembly of Experts. And Iran's oil ministry says several depots in Tehran were struck over the weekend. Iranian officials say more than 1,200 people have been killed in 10 days of fighting, with more than 12,000 others suffering injuries. Now, G7 nations will not be releasing emergency oil reserves just yet, despite the huge disruption of the global oil supply that has gas prices spiking and world economies, including this country's, at risk. John Vinavali-Rao has more.
With pump prices well north of $1.50 in Toronto, drivers are feeling the wartime pinch.
$1.55. It's a little bit scary.
Yes, it is hard. Concern only so much we can do from here, right?
And many wondering what happens next.
Are you worried about it going higher?
Oh, absolutely. Like the world going on like this.
Following dramatic scenes over the weekend, including attacks on oil infrastructure in Iran and the Gulf states. Overnight Sunday, the price for a barrel of Brent crude jumped almost 30% to just under $120 US per barrel, before falling back to around $100 this morning. In response, North American stock markets opened lower, an initial sea of red, with traders fearing a lengthy supply disruption.
The longer this occurs, the more difficult it becomes for global oil markets.
The near shutdown of the vital Strait of Hormuz continues to worry traders, and major suppliers like Kuwait, Iraq, and the UAE have begun to cut production, unable to move oil, with one well-known price forecaster thinking gas prices could go up another 8 cents by midweek.
And every other day after that, probably 2 to 4 cents a litre until we get right to next Sunday.
Meanwhile, G7 nations have for now decided against releasing emergency oil reserves to ease supply concerns. After a meeting of G7 finance ministers, they wrote, "We will continue to monitor the situation," adding, "We stand ready to take necessary measures, including stockpile release." While as a major producer, Canada does benefit from higher oil prices, they can also lead to higher food and air travel costs, stoking inflation. Meanwhile, gas price expert Dan McTagg says if oil prices were to hit $140 US, he thinks the price at the pump could jump 40 cents or more. John Vinavali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Artificial intelligence has blurred the line between what's real online and what's not. And now experts say young people are facing new threats from predators who may be nearly impossible to detect. Andrew Johnson has more.
There's an app now where if it detects that Bluetooth signal, it will send you a warning.
From podcasts to online investigations and hundreds of presentations for schools.
That is kind of how an IP address works.
Inside this homemade high-tech studio outside BC's capital, a father and son duo known as the White Hatter have made a career out of keeping people safe online.
Things are moving at breakneck speeds right now.
One of the biggest threats they're seeing is sextortion, a scenario where teens are convinced to send nude photos to a predator who then threatens to post them online unless the victim pays a ransom. And who is most at risk may surprise you.
Of the 355 cases we've dealt with, only 14 were teen girls. 14. The rest were all teen boys. Why? Because of the shame associated with teen boys.
Artificial intelligence has upped the game. Fake nudes can be created from photos on open social media accounts, so keep them private. And a scammer can now pose as someone else, even in a live online video chat.
Although you think you're talking live to a 16-year-old from California, it could be a 55-year-old male from the Ivory Coast of Africa with no front teeth trying to cap you online for sextortion.
The key to keeping teens safe, they
say, is education. Parents making an effort to establish an open line of communication about what's happening online, and if your child is victimized, reacting the right way.
Their anxiety is spiking. They're in what we call red alert status, and they are just in a terrible mental health emergency sometimes.
The worst case scenario they've encountered, a young person feeling there's no way out and taking their own life. The wrong approach by a parent trying to help is lashing out.
Give your son a big hug and let them know, say to him, I love you and I'm going to help you. Because that's what the child needs. They don't need to hear, how could you have done that?
A final piece of perspective, despite the many threats that exist online, most experiences will be positive.
I do try to emphasize that with parents that, hey, most people are just like your kids, want to go online, have fun, and just enjoy life. Like a fingerprint.
Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Langford, BC.
Like me?
And dramatic video from the Georgian Bay in Ontario over the weekend showing a number of people trapped on ice that had broken away.
Water's opening up, ice is opening.
23 people had to be rescued off the bay near Owen Sound yesterday just before noon. 2 helicopters and an Orange Air ambulance were sent to the scene. The group was fishing on the lake when a large piece of the ice broke off and drifted about 2 kilometers offshore. Roughly 2 hours after the rescue came in, all of the people have been rescued. 2 of them, though, were treated for minor injuries, including hypothermia. Coming up, celebrating International Women's Day by inspiring the next generation of leaders.
Clearing up confusion around childcare. Tuesday on Your Morning, we're sitting down with the Education Minister to get clarity on who qualifies for the program and who doesn't.
Welcome back. A beautiful day in the Queen City. Didn't quite get into that seasonal range, but still warm enough. -4 is what we're sitting at right now, and that is the warmest we got to in Regina. And the average I mentioned earlier usually is about -2. Now with the -4, there is still a wind chill. It's more like -10 right now outside. Now, mostly sunny conditions we saw for much of Saskatchewan today, but we are starting to see some snow making its way in from the west over the last couple of hours, starting around the Saskatoon area, but also down in the southwest. We're seeing for Maple Creek, Swift Current areas, starting to see some scattered flurries. Now that snow is expected to continue making its way east, and it will make it, I don't want to say stops, but it will pass through areas like Regina and into the parkland areas like Hudson Bay, Yorkton, even down in the southeast around Estevan. We'll start to see that snow, and mostly it's tonight into early morning tomorrow. You can see that snow has already passed through most of south central Saskatchewan, and by tomorrow morning we'll see more of that snow in the Yorkton, Estevan area, and of course clipping through the Hudson Bay area. That's not the last we'll see of the snow, but to start your day tomorrow, many areas will see mostly cloudy conditions. That cloud will break up, but there is still snow expected by tomorrow evening. Again, back in the south central area, Assiniboia will see some snow. Regina could see some of that snow, and then back into the southeast, including areas in the parkland as well. So by Wednesday morning, expect some of that snow in the area around Yorkton and even down in Estevan, Weyburn area as well. In terms of snowfall totals, really we're going to see scattered snowfall totals across the province, especially southern Saskatchewan. I'll show you that in a second, but you can see more of that snow is expected on the way by Thursday morning in the southwest. As of right now, that system looks like it is tracking to head back down south of the border, but we will still see some of that snow coming through Maple Creek. So between now and tomorrow morning, this is a look at the snowfall totals. Saskatoon up to 7 centimeters of snow, Hudson Bay up to 5, and then trace amounts for most of southern Saskatchewan. Estevan could see up to 2 centimeters, but by the time we get into Wednesday morning, you'll start to see more of that snow accumulating throughout southern Saskatchewan and even more into central and northern Saskatchewan as well. By the time we're into Thursday afternoon, Maple Creek could see 5 centimeters, Swift Current up to 7 centimeters, 4 centimeters for Weyburn, 3 for Regina and Estevan, 8 for Saskatoon and Yorkton, expecting up to 2 centimeters of snow. So as you can see on the map, pretty much all of Saskatchewan expecting to see snow throughout the week. of scattered precipitation, not some heavy systems that's coming to bring large snowfall totals, but still expect that snow. And on top of that, the temperatures gradually starting to get warmer than seasonal, but we're going to see it get cooler by the time we get into the weekend. You'll see that in your 7-day forecast. For North Battleford tomorrow, -3 and cloudy, -5 for Saskatoon and Yorkton with a mix of sun and cloud. The southwest bumping up above 0. 3 degrees for Maple Creek, 2 for Swift Current, 1 for Moose Jaw, and the southeast also above 0 at 2 degrees for Estevan and Assiniboia, 1 for Weyburn. For Regina, not quite above 0. Tonight we're warmer than our average low, which is about -14. So -10 tonight. Tomorrow, -2 with a mix of sun and cloud. And then we will see a little bit warmer by Wednesday, bumping up above 0 to +1, mainly sunny conditions, dropping back down to -2 on Thursday. Winds expecting to pick up, gusting up to 50. By Friday, we'll see some snow return. -5 is the expected daytime high, and then we'll see the temperatures drop by the weekend. So much cooler than what we just experienced over this last weekend. Cloudy, -9 by Sunday, mainly sunny, -7. And to start your work week next week, mostly cloudy, -7. But once we get past this weekend, Lee, it does look like we're going to start to see those temperatures getting back into that seasonal range, -1, -2. Around this time of year especially, we're going to see those temperatures fluctuating as we're fighting to get into spring conditions.
Just so close. But
so close, yeah.
Yet so far.
It's close.
It's coming soon.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Sabine.
You bet.
Well, Sunday marked International Women's Day, and Queen City had plenty of events leading up to that day, from the U of R's annual Inspiring Leadership Forum to a new event geared towards encouraging young girls to become entrepreneurs. Jacob Carr has the details.
In Regina, there seemed to be a common theme in the week leading up to International Women's Day: young female entrepreneurs, one of which was Kyla Guru, a keynote speaker at the University of Regina's Inspiring Leadership Forum.
It's not often that you get to bring people physically together into spaces that feel safe and feel warm and welcoming in technology, specifically for women. So it's a very unique opportunity for women in Saskatchewan.
The 21-year-old Stanford student says she started putting the pieces together for her company at just 14 years old. Guru saw a prevalence of cyber attacks going on around her and wanted to come up with a solution to protect people.
So I started educating in schools, K-12 schools, to talk about cyber. It actually just started with my former elementary school. I went in and I did a 30-minute session to talk about my top 10 tips on staying safe, and it snowballed from there.
On Sunday, it was the inaugural She Means Business Build a Business workshop. There were plenty of female industry leaders on hand to lend their expertise to the next generation of female entrepreneurs.
We've had this idea for quite a while, but really was wanting to start the entrepreneurship journey as early as we could and show them kind of the support from the local community and other women business leaders in the community about what's possible.
Peterson says the biggest aim of the workshop is the passing down of knowledge and to show the young girls in attendance what is possible for their futures.
The biggest thing is we're going to take them all through little workshops, but we're going to have little confidence builders in between. So there's going to be some high fives, there's going to be some icebreakers, they're going to talk about their superpowers. I'm just really trying to keep it fun and light for the girls. I've seen everything from a slime business to a kids spa, so sounds like they're having fun.
International Women's Day truly bringing out the entrepreneurial spirit this year. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Still ahead, no longer just a bridesmaid, a former Saskatchewan skip finally gets his Brier title. With every point being crucial in their quest to make the playoffs, Regina Pats were able to nab a point out of Calgary on Sunday.
Fawcett trying to reach it, worked it ahead. Here comes Maddox Schultz in over shooting. He scores! Maddox
Schultz goes bar down to give Regina a 3-0 lead, but Calgary would score 4 unanswered, with former Pat Julian Mays scoring his 35th a year in overtime to lift the Calgary Hitmen to a 4-3 win. The Pats are now 4 points up on Red Deer for 7th in the Eastern Conference with 7 games to go. Regina's next game is tomorrow in Medicine Hat, then Lethbridge on Wednesday. Saskatchewan Huskies women's basketball team arrived back in Saskatoon this morning as national champions. Players arrived at the Diefenbaker Airport this afternoon with a championship banner in hand and medals around their necks. The Huskies women's basketball team won their 4th title in 11 years, defeating the University of New Brunswick Reds 77-68 Sunday in Quebec City.
I don't think you'll ever find a team this special, especially going back-to-back twice. But they're just such an incredible young group of female athletes, and I just can't say enough great things about them.
Ella Murphy-Weeb, who scored 13 points and grabbed 10 rebounds, a double-double, named the tournament most valuable player in the final. By the way, New Brunswick's Kylie Speedy had the most points for them in 16 points. She is a daughter of former U of R head coach Jeff Speedy. After losing in the final of the Olympic trials and the Brier final twice, Manitoba's Matt Dunstone finally got his national title.
Go away, and there they go, and he is the heartbreak kid no more. Matt Dunstone wins the Montana's Brier.
Yeah, happy tears instead of sad tears that he's had the last couple of years. Dunstone did run Kevin Cooey out of rocks to win 6-3. This was Cooey's only loss of the entire event. Dunstone's rink will represent Canada later this month at the World Men's Curling Championships in Utah. A Regina basketball official took the final step in his bid to qualify for a Guinness World Record for oldest active basketball official, but not without one last surprise. Jacob Carr has more.
Unbeknownst to Martirana, his son Aaron, who is also a referee, surprised him by stepping in to officiate alongside his father.
That was really emotional because, like I said, you don't know what's going to happen in a year, and we've played together. I coached him when he was playing ball, high school, and it's been a long journey for both of us, and this was really, really special.
With the significance of this game for his father, Aaron told CTV News it had been planned for a while to officiate the contest together. The fact that he was able to keep it a surprise and see Michael's reaction was just icing on the cake.
We kind of had it planned for about a month now that I was going to do this last game with him, and just to make it that much more special, there were several members of the RCBA board that were here. My mom's here, my sisters are here. Yeah, it was a really good thing. I found it really special.
While Michael has been officiating basketball games in the Queen City for 30 years now, he has just 1 year of seniority in that field on Aaron. Michael says before he became an official, he loathed them. So naturally, Aaron followed suit.
That year he reffed, we butted heads the whole year because I couldn't believe he was actually reffing. I still considered them the dark side, but he, over the course of the year, convinced me to do it. I started the following year, and I've been doing it ever since, and I love it.
The father-son duo officiated a Regina Community Basketball Association playoff game on Saturday, and with 59 years of combined experience, the contest was in good hands.
It's going to be over-officiated at this level kind of thing because, like, you know, he refs at the highest level here. I haven't refed at that high level for a long time, but I do elementary school all during the week, you know, and so sometimes it gets really competitive, and I like it because they're small gyms. I don't have to run as much.
If you ask this reporter, even at the age of 80, Martirana can still get up and down the court just fine. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
And the annual Warman Cheer Classic returned to the Warman Home Center complex over the weekend. Over 210 cheer, dance, and pom teams from all across Canada showcased their skills. The event is Saskatchewan's largest cheerleading and dance competition and largest world's bid event, with an estimated 3,200 athletes competing.
I think it's great to see all the different styles, who's doing what. They watch each other on Instagram and, you know, TikTok and all the things. So, like, watching them and getting to meet each other and just, yeah, cheering each other on.
This year marked the 19th time that the event was hosted in Warman. Still ahead, Regina police need your help to catch a masked bandit.
All All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at your rural forecast heading into tomorrow. So we're still going to see cloudy conditions for some parts of the province, and that is due to that snow that is also coming through parts of Saskatchewan tomorrow. But we still can expect sunshine and some areas a little warmer than what the average is. Kindersley +1 with some scattered flurries, -4 in Fog for Lloydminster, -5 for Watrous and Spiritwood, -7 for Wynyard and Meadow Lake, -10 for Melfort and Hudson Bay. Mostly cloudy, -6 with outlook. Also mostly cloudy and 0 is the expected high. Down closer to the southern border, we'll see those temperatures a little warmer than seasonal. We're going to climb above 0 for areas like Leader and Maple Creek and Coronach at 3 degrees, 1 for East End Cypress, 2 for Assiniboia and Rockland, Lumsden and Pilot Butte below 0 at -2, and Carlisle 0 with Kenora, a mix of sun and cloud, and -6. If we take a closer look at Ituna, where internet speeds up to 1 gig available through SaskTel, located about 135 kilometers northeast of Regina. Tomorrow warming up to -7 with a mix of sun and cloud, a wind chill of -13, and then heading into the evening, dropping to a low of -14 with a slight chance of flurries.
The incident happened in the early morning hours of February 16th, 2026 on the 1800 block of Halifax Street. A man broke into a business, damaging the exterior door, and once inside was able to steal property and damage several items as well. The suspect was a man wearing a very unique mask, as well as a brown toque, a white hoodie, blue jeans, gray and black gloves, and black shoes. If you know who this person might be, call CrimeStoppers.
I'm Belton Johnson, board member for Regina CrimeStoppers. Did you know CrimeStoppers would pay up to $2,000 cash rewards for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina? Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call CrimeStoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
Well, it was more traffic headaches for Saskatoon commuters after problems at 2 key roadways. Another human-caused fire under the University Bridge Sunday damaged a sanitary sewer line, while repairs continue on a city overpass that was struck by a truck last week. Carla Shinkaruk has more.
More traffic restrictions on the University Bridge causing challenges for motorists in our city. This was Monday morning. Firefighters were called to the bridge Sunday afternoon because of smoke rising from underneath the structure. City officials tell us it's human-caused and resulted in damage to a sewer line.
And if anybody put plastic near on a stove element, it doesn't take a lot of heat to start deforming plastic, and then once that starts to happen, it can fairly quickly get out of control.
But an investigation is still underway to determine exactly how it started and if it was intentional or accidental. The archways under the bridge are hard to access by design, but have become a common place for encampments, offering shelter from the elements.
We don't really have any way of preventing someone. Where there's a will, there's a way is certainly what we're seeing. We've done our best. There's barbed wire on the tops of the fence.
He adds the area has to be accessible for any repairs or for emergency crews to access. This is not the first incident like this to cause issues for bridge traffic here. In June of 2023, a major fire had the bridge closed down to traffic completely for a day. Then in January of 2025, another fire under the bridge, also the result of an encampment. This one spread into the bridge's internal structure and also melted a sanitary sewer line. Now, with the latest bridge damage, officials have since inspected it and say there's no structural damage. Part of the westbound lane is blocked off with traffic asked to zipper merge. The north pedestrian walkway is also closed while crews work in the area. The south walkway is open. That's expected to last this week. Meanwhile, on the south side of the city, traffic also seeing delays as repairs continue after an overpass was damaged when a truck hit the structure. Repairs are being arranged currently, but no timeline on reopening all lanes of traffic has been set. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The RM of Warman Park is introducing a new approach to pay for its firefighting services. Starting this year, residential and agriculture fire protection will be funded through an annual service fee charged to each property. The RM says the fee is estimated to be $128 and will appear on annual property tax notices. It will replace a requirement for property owners to carry $30,000 in firefighting insurance coverage. Under the new structure, the RM says commercial and industrial properties will continue to be covered under the existing model where fire costs are invoiced per incident. All right, your farm market boards. Canola Street price is down $10.20 to $655.43 per ton. Futures price also down big by $13.60. Amber Durum wheat $278.59 per ton, while red spring wheat is up 52 cents to $273.48 per ton. Feed barley, it's at $232, 1 cent per ton, and flax is $650.54 per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge. Markets, TSX up 105 points, the Dow Jones up by 239 points today. The Canadian dollar went down almost 1/10 cent to 73.62 cents US. Commodities, gold up by 27 cents. West Texas Intermediate crude, it had gone to $100 at one point, but it's coming down. It went down another $3.99 today. Western Canadian Select crude, on the other hand, went up $8.19. It is now more than $73 a barrel. And gas in Regina did go up earlier. It is now sitting at $1.49.9 cents per liter and is expected to go up even more.
The price of oil whipsawed today on events related to the Middle East conflict. The U.S. president is telling CBS News the war against Iran is very complete. That put downward pressure on the price of oil, which had spiked close to $120 U.S. a barrel on the weekend, on news that Gulf oil producers are trimming production because they've run out of room to store it. The U.S. Justice Department has a tentative settlement in the Live Nation antitrust case. The entertainment company was accused of running an illegal monopoly, pressuring venues to use Ticketmaster, which it owns. The deal keeps the company intact, but requires Live Nation to pay a penalty and open up ticketing to competition. The amount landlords are asking for rent has dropped for the 17th month in a row. The average rent for February was just over $2,000 a month. That's about a 3% drop month over month. Rentals.ca and Urban Nation keep track. Those are your business headlines. I'm Merle Fernandez.
Coming up tonight after the newscast, St. Denis Medical, followed by the fall and rise of Reggie Dinkins.
What is that?
Never thought it would happen to him.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it's a story about a Reggie who, he was doing so well, and then he has the fall.
Lost the plot.
And then gets better and jumps up again.
All right.
Hospital of Regina Foundation is getting a funding boost thanks to those who spent an evening in Greece.
The 32nd annual gala was held Saturday night at the Delta Hotel, featuring Greek cuisine, live music, and of course the breaking of the plates. Proceeds go to the HRF and Autism Resource Center. The event has raised more than $3.1 million over the past 3 decades. I'm not going to lie, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, maybe that would scare me. But overall, it's a great event.
Last year when I did, I just let everyone else do it because everyone wanted to do it. So I'm like, here, take my plates.
All right, and a fearless 5-year-old who did something epic just because he was following his big brother. Story of my life.
Yeah. Ooh, had the splits almost there, but he got it. No one was expecting that, especially his mom, who was filming his older brother and realized, this little guy's going.
Oh my gosh.
Nails his first jump, 6 to landing. This video has gone viral with nearly 83 million views.
Perhaps one of the few things that's cool when you follow your older brother. Most of the time, you just get in trouble.
And it worked out well for him at that time because he landed it. Usually, it's just face plant.
Have a good night.